Glasses on or off?
You're fine. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of our TEPSA Moments of Inspiration. My name is Todd Nesloni, and I'm the Director of Culture and Strategic Leadership here at the Texas Elementary Principals and Supervisors Association, also known as TEPSA. We are trying to do daily moments of inspiration where we bring you somebody each day just to share a couple of words of wisdom. I am so excited that today we have TEPSA's very own Executive Director, Harley Eckhart, on with us. Harley, tell everybody just kind of about your background and who you are.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I can provide something helpful or useful today. As Todd said, my name is Harley. I'm the Executive Director at TEPSA. I've been here, been with TEPSA for about 20 years. My past life, I was a high school teacher. Well, I started out 3 years at middle school, teaching 7th grade language arts, and I kept coming back and eventually taught high school and then became an assistant principal and then was a high school principal for 11 years in the San Antonio area, about 2,300 students. Well, that's pretty good training ground experience for almost anything life throws at you.
Now, you've been at TEPSA for quite a while now, and you've had an opportunity to really interact with a lot of different people in the educational world. And I know we've talked multiple times throughout these episodes about how we are in uncharted territory and learning things as we go on the fly. So to our administrators who are listening today, what kind of words of wisdom or advice would you give them in these new times?
You're right, Todd. We are in uncharted territories, but sometimes I believe that's where we do our best work.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, sometimes nothing as big as this, but every day that you go to work at school and interact with adults and students and parents and the whole community, there's always things that happen, incidents that happen, situations that present themselves that have not presented themselves before and that you have to deal with, maybe on a much smaller scale. So first of all, you have the ability, so have the confidence to deal with this. This is something that you do every day. Second of all, I would say that you are the expert in your school, in your community, and at your school, and especially in elementary education, you are the expert, not somebody in Washington, D.C., not someone in Austin. No offense, but maybe not even to a certain degree at the district level office. You are the expert. You have the experience. You have the ability. So you need to be very confident in that.
Well, and I think those are great points, because I think sometimes in these unexpected times, an administrator can begin to feel overwhelmed and like they don't know what the right decision is. And I think exactly what you said is important to remember, that as administrators, you know your staff, you know your students and families and their needs, and just focus on serving those. The bigger issues will be solved by people in much different pay grades than us. And if we just focus on the kids and the families and the staff in front of us, then we'll see things begin to make a little bit more sense.
Absolutely. Control the aspects of the situation that you have control over, which right now are a lot. And don't worry about trying to control what's out of your control. I can find myself getting frustrated watching the news and reading bulletins and emails and alerts coming, and it doesn't do me any good to get frustrated about that. I can only deal with the components of that are directly within my control. So I would just say deal with what is in your realm and be confident in your abilities to deal with that.
Well, and Harley, and I think something that you personally really excel at is keeping very open lines of communication with us on the TEPSA staff and with members, and just making sure that you're checking in and that you're being present. And I think that what I've learned from you in that is that that's something excellent that administrators and teachers can take back and really do in this time. It's like, don't assume that people know anything or that people know that you're concerned about them. Let them know, check in, send a text, send an email. Why is that so important to you?
It's a very fine line, I believe, between monitoring and showing, informing and letting people know that you're aware and that you're concerned, and guiding, but not micromanaging. That's a very, very fine line. You can be too much or not enough. So that is a very fine line, but everyone, your students, your faculty, your staff, need to know that you're there to support them with whatever they need. But again, they are also the experts in their particular subject matter or their particular grade level or with their particular students. And you're there to help them, but empower them to make decisions and do what they feel they need to do on a day-by-day, minute-by-minute basis.
I think that's excellent advice. Now, Harley, we have a lot of parents and children who have been joining a lot of our chats here recently. If you really wanted them to hear something right now, what would you say to the parents and kids who may be listening?
I would just say, praise be to all of you for going through this together with all of us. We're all going through this together. As you said when we first started, this is uncharted territory. So don't expect everyone to have the answers. Parents don't expect everyone to have the answers. Students also. Be patient with one another. Practice tolerance and patience and love and caring. And we're used to going at warp speed in our daily lives, whether it's physically being in motion, moving from one location to another in vehicles or on foot or however. And also with our fingers and our minds on the internet or on the computer. I think the first thing we have to do is and this is a difficult one, is to be able to slow down and understand that right now, hopefully temporarily, we're not going to be able to move at the speed physically or otherwise that we're accustomed to. So we have to be extremely patient with one another. We're not accustomed to spending as much time together in close proximity that we are currently spending with each other and may spend more. So I think basic human elements are going to come into play, and in the long run, it's going to be okay. It's going to be great. So be patient with each other, be caring, be tolerant, and respectful, and it's a big test for all of us, but I'm very confident that we are going to get through this and come out better on the other end of it. People are very creative. We need to have confidence in parents. You're the expert at being a parent, and students, you need to do your part. So just be helpful with one another.
Well, Harley, I know that here at TEPSA, we really appreciate your leadership, and I love your words of wisdom and moments of inspiration today of just administrators remembering that you are only in control of what you're in control of. So be the expert in that and communicate, check in on your people and your families, and to our families and listening and our teachers, know that we're all in uncharted territories. We're learning as we go, and to have that hope, but also have that patience and understanding that we can't move at the speeds we're used to moving. This is new for all of us. Harley, we appreciate you and your leadership so much. Thank you for joining me for TEPSA's Moment of Inspiration today.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
And everybody, make sure you check out our TEPSA Facebook page every weekday at 2 p.m. Central as we bring you different leaders in the field to share a TEPSA Moment of Inspiration.